Over the years, MS Teamworks has shared different perspectives on MS from patients, care partners, family members, and healthcare professionals. Guided by our mantra, I have MS, I have a team, I have a future, we are proud to share new messages of hope and inspiration with the MS community.
I have MS.
I'm on your team.
I have a future.
My name is Francois Beitou. I'm a physiatrist, a rehab physician, and basically as part of the rehab team, as part of the MS management team, patients are referred to me generally if they have complex issues with symptom management or difficulty functioning, so that I can serve as a quarterback for their rehabilitation and refer them to other services or oversee some of their symptom management and rehabilitation. I am not an artist, but what interested me particularly in using the art in the management of MS and particularly in rehabilitation is that I have a great interest for music, and I've discovered through readings that there is actually research that shows that the functioning of the brain or the nervous system can be changed in a positive way through music, and then that other forms of art can also have a very positive effect, especially in people who have chronic conditions with a lot of symptoms. So I've looked a little bit at the research done out there to explore the benefits of the arts, particularly in people with MS. And unfortunately, there is not much research, but the studies that have been published all point out to a wide array of benefits. Some of them have to do with quality of life, with emotional issues, with self-empowerment as well. Taking into your own hands the management of your disease, which is very important to us. Others point towards improvement in movement, in the ability to move the arms or move the legs or walk or have a better balance. And that can be actually with about every form of art. Some studies have looked at visual arts, at actually painting or drawing, or enjoying with visual arts by going to a museum or looking at pieces of art. Could be music, could be performing music or listening to music, working with a music therapist. The music therapists, they are trained professionals that really establish a deep relationship with patients using music as a medium. They have training also in psychology, so they really use the music to provide an interaction or to initiate an interaction. And so they go even deeper into how you can integrate the art to improve well-being. And then that has been also shown with dance, actually. There's a couple studies, one with salsa dancing, that has shown obvious enjoyment benefits, but also, for example, benefits on balance and walking. So there's a lot that points towards benefits, and certainly we're wishing for more research in that area. The area of research that I've taken on has to do with how to use rhythmic music to enhance walking in people with MS. The idea is not very new. There's a branch of music therapy that's called neuromusic therapy that uses rhythmic music to enhance walking in people with Parkinson's disease or after a stroke. Hasn't been much explored in MS. So over the past 10 years, I've been studying it and found that actually an exercise program using as an add-on, as an enhancement, the rhythmic music actually provides greater benefits in terms of gait pattern and walking. And more recently, we've shown that it also provides benefits in terms of brain activation, which could explain why people have an easier time walking after they use that. So to me, it's a fascinating area of research, because with something that's widely available, rhythmic music, many joggers use rhythmic music to enhance their jogging routine. We may be able to actually help overcome some of the brain damage to enhance a very important function, such as walking. There are indeed different ways that the arts can be integrated into the management of MS. It can be through again, trained providers such as arts and music therapists who provide an intervention, but it can also be through participation in arts in the community. There are many community arts organizations that offer programs, and many of them are happy to integrate people with disabilities or with chronic conditions who would like to participate as well. And it can be as simple as going to a museum, listening to music. I found that some of my patients used to be artists or teaching the arts or just amateurs, and some of them had given that up because of the many barriers that the disease imposes on people. They felt depressed, they felt tired, maybe they had sensory issues in the fingers or coordination issues, and they may have given up painting or playing music. And the same way that we send our patients to physical therapists to help them get back on an exercise routine, we can help some of these people get back on an arts routine, that maybe the same one or a different one or with adaptations. But also we can entice about anybody who's interested to engage with the arts and use it to promote their health or to preserve their health. And as I say, it can take many faces and many ways. I mean, there are examples of medical musicians who come to facilities and play this. It goes way beyond MS, obviously, but they are musicians. They've been sensitized to healthcare issues and have been provided some training, but they use their knowledge in music and their performance skills to engage people again and help them reminisce the music they like, maybe participate by singing. And it's amazing how it brings back positive memories or brings up positive emotions, which then you can use to facilitate again engagement, help fight depressive or anxious symptoms. You can imagine that people can take that experience and then bring it back maybe in a different way. It's saying, oh, now I can listen to this type of music at home, and then I'm going to reminisce that good experience. So it's not only there's a lot of instantaneous experience with the art. You're listening to music or looking to a piece of art, and then there's that happening. And you could say, well, that's one moment in a life with MS. But actually, these positive memories, the mix of memories and emotions and sensory perceptions can be brought back through various channels to serve as well, throughout your life, basically. There are indeed many ways, and many of them are inexpensive, obviously harmless in many ways, and can be used at many stages of the disease, in many avenues, so it's easily scalable to basically the entire population of people with MS. People often ask me where they can find opportunities to interact with the arts, and unfortunately this information is not readily available. However, for example, the National MS Society in their magazine a few issues ago published a piece on how the arts could be used for exercise, using the example of somebody who has MS. So sometimes, the MS organizations, the patient organizations, can provide information. I encourage people to ask their providers, and they may be surprised how their providers, have explored this and can point them towards the right professionals or the right arts organizations, or simply go in the community and knock at doors of, their Y, or again, a local arts organization, and ask if they have programs where they could participate. Often people have an interest already in some form of activity or arts-related activity, so they can go to a place where they would seek it, whether they have MS or not, and see if there's a connection. And certainly they are, even though there are not necessarily direct, obvious pathways, I think starting there could be a good way to go. There are actually organizations that are centered on arts and health. One of them is the National Organization of Arts and Health, and they are trying to provide, they have a website where they want to provide resources and lists of providers or artists that are interested in arts and health at a national level. There's a a researcher at a university in Florida, Jill Sankey, who is actually building an exhaustive compendium of arts and health programs in the state of Florida. And I've heard of others in the States. So maybe, going on the internet and browsing can lead to surprising discoveries that there may be something close to where people live. The way I've tried to introduce the arts into my practice is through the research to understand how to better use it to the benefit of people. It's great to have a good intent, but in many of our initiatives in healthcare are driven by outcomes and evidence. One example from the research on walking and music, on rhythmic music in MS, is one of our participants who not only found benefits during the study of walking exercise with listening to the music, but kept doing it basically after participation, and told us a couple of years later that he was still using the music for all of his exercise routines, and found that helped motivate him to go to the gym and exercise. And I think that's one of the benefits of using the music around the rhythm. It's like you can use it as a motivational piece or an enticement, and also bringing consistency to the exercise routine as well. And actually the story of this gentleman was featured in the National MS Society magazine a few months ago, and that was a great way to disseminate the message about how music and the arts can benefit people with MS. Other examples, we have a program that's called Here We Arts. That's an 8-week group program to entice people with chronic conditions to take up arts-related activities to promote and enhance their health. Kind of a menu of possible activities that they could take up and then bring home and continue doing over the long term. And we had a group of over 20 people who did it, and about 22% of them had MS. Overall, the group reported great benefits in terms of their emotional well-being, in terms of their resilience, and it takes a lot of resilience to deal with MS, and also in terms of their overall mood. And it seems that for some of these people, actually, the benefits continued even beyond. We brought people back to ask them like 8 weeks after the program ended, and some people said they kept up with some activity and they certainly had enduring benefits from it. So I think these are concrete examples, and people give very vivid testimonials on how this really kind of changed some aspects of their life and enhance their quality of life. What I would like people to take away is that there are many opportunities to engage with the arts in order to help enhance well-being and promote health in the face of MS. It is not always easy, but there are professionals and there are also artists and arts organizations that are all very willing and ready to help. So do not hesitate to reach out if you have ideas. Reach out to your MS providers, reach out to arts organizations, to people you know who are artists maybe. It's always an interactive process where some ideas come actually from people with MS and then can be adjusted to their goals and their needs. It's very important to tailor it to people's wants and needs, because again, it's all about the process of empowerment and not just applying the same recipe to everyone.